Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So it's been a long while since I've made a video about match shots or hit stops, but I have been mentioning them from time to time. And then we do have a quest going on with the Doraemon collaboration, where this is pretty possible, pretty doable. So I thought now would be a good time to make a video about them. And then what a match shot is, there are kind of two types of match shots. One I guess I'll call a true match shot, where with your character you just nick the outside of the enemy's hitbox. And yeah, if you nick it at just the right angle, it has to be a super shallow angle, like 5% or maybe less, then the way that I imagine it, my image, is that the very outside pixel of your character's hitbox just hits the very outside pixel of the boss's hitbox. And if they catch on each other, then you get stuck there, and then you get many hits and a lot of damage. And yeah, this is pretty famously doable in Izanami, like the second boss stage, for example, on the bottom of Izanami. Or in Yamato Takeru, you can do it on any stage there, either the top or the bottom of him. Or on Avalon, you can do that on Avalon's sides fairly consistently. And this is kind of hard to do. It takes a lot of practice and the kind of knowledge about the size of the boss's hitbox. But yeah, that's what I would call a true hit stop. And then there's kind of the pinch shot match shot. And what that is that you get stuck in between the boss and a wall, or a boss and another enemy. And that'll kind of freeze you in place, and so you'll get a lot of hits on the boss and a lot of damage as well. So yeah, let's look at that first. And then this is the silver quest, where you play to get drops of Dark Doraemon. And then on the boss stage 2, there are these like boot guys, and then you can pinch in between the boot guys and the boss, and then get a pinch shot match shot. So let's look at what happens here with that. Okay, so 4.6 million damage, very good damage, but not enough to clear the mission outright. One of the nice things about match shots and hit stops is that if you do enough damage in an earlier stage, you can basically skip stages or skip gauges, just because you do so much damage. And then if you do enough damage, you can just clear the mission outright, and then just, skip those last few stages. So that match shot, not enough to clear the mission, but yeah, let's have a look at hit stops. And then what hit stops are like upgraded match shots. You basically do the same thing, the same shots, the same angles, but you fulfill some other requirement in order to upgrade it. And then the easiest way for players to control in order to get hit stops off is to use a certain type of strike shot. And then there are only two types of strike shots that can do this. One is creates a little barrier, like Marishiten or Fox Metal. Those are drop monsters. Or you can use Nachos, or more recently Yoshida showing. And then yeah, you can use those for pinch shots, pinch in between guys, or pinch in between the wall and the boss, and then set off that hit stop. The other strike shot you can use is the set a bomb strike shot. It only works for bounce characters, of course, and there's very few monsters with that. There's Tanpopo Ascension, although most people are using the Transcendent form now. And then Spica Ascension, although people don't really use her either. And yeah, once it was discovered that hit stops were possible, the designers of the game actually stopped giving characters, or bounce characters at least, those strike shots, because they did not want players to be doing the hit stops, I think. They were too powerful. But I think lately they gave it to Yoshida Shoin because they felt they're not really game-breaking. And I agree with that. They're fun to set up, and they're kind of a gimmicky, in a fun way. But none of them are necessary to do, and I think they're still difficult enough to do that they're only for the hardcore players. But anyway, what happens with a hit stop is that when you use those strike shots, when you first hit an enemy, it will kind of freeze the action. And then during the time that the action is frozen, you will get many, many hits and lots of damage in there. I don't know why, it's just the way it works. But anyway, we'll do the same thing with Marishiten here in silver. And then we'll use the strike shot and we'll pinch in between the boot guy and silver. Alright, set off the strike shot, and then usually the 45-degree angle is the best. So there we go, 9.3 million damage, enough to clear the mission outright, so the treasure chests come and that's the end. Alright, let's look at that one more time. So yeah, I'm going to pinch in between the two guys. It helps if I'm already in there, of course. Do the 45-degree angle and then pow. So that is a hit stop. And then one kind of telltale sign that you got a hit stop is that brrr sound, which you don't usually hear during Monster Strike. Alright, let's look at one more. And yeah, one of the reasons why the hit stop is easy to do in silver is because you can do it from either the left or the right, since there are two guys to the side of silver, and you can go from the top or the bottom. So this time we'll go from the right, from the top, so let's look at that. And then sometimes you will not have a 45-degree angle that you need to get into that pinch shot, so just do the closest thing to, and then still get in there. Okay, so this time 9.0 million damage, still enough to clear the mission outright. Okay, let's look at one more. This is again from the left side, again from the bottom, so kind of similar to the first one, but we're not as in there already. But again, 45-degree angle, and 9.2, okay. Alright, and then I have one last one. And then this is again from the right, from the top, but from the other side, instead of from the top of silver. Okay, 9.4 there. Alright, so those are hit stops. And yeah, I was in the middle of making my second Dark Doraemon. I was halfway through. And I was like, well, let's mix it up a bit. Let's use Marishiten, let's go for the hit stop every time. But if you had, you know, the time and the inclination, it could be fun to try that out. You could also try using a Fox Medal in here if you did not have a max luck of Marishiten. Okay, maybe I will look at putting up some more hit stop videos. There's a few places, like some floors of the Tower of Champions, where I haven't made videos of those yet, so maybe I will try those out. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.